So hi, this is Russ Maines again. Remember yesterday I did a little video on how I set up things in GarageBand for recording. So I wanted to update you on progress, and I think that was one of the points I mentioned. So back here on my Macintosh computer, I was showing you how I went through that process. So since then, I've done a couple of updates, and I wanted to kind of show you that process a little bit in GarageBand, so you get more of a feel of some of the subtleties that you'll need to do if you want to produce and record your own music. I use my own process. Your process doesn't have to be like this, but I find it very useful. So let me go ahead and pull this camera up a little bit more, and I'm probably gonna have to lower it a little bit so you can see what's going on with my machine. So I'll just go ahead and lower it a little bit, and I'll zoom up on the screen. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, it looks like a pretty good image to me. Let me maybe get a little bit this way, a little bit more. Okay, so down here is my drum track. This is the bass, and then there's a whole bunch of different guitars. Now what I did yesterday is I added this acoustic guitar track to give it a little something. I then added this special highlighted guitar track here. In this particular case, I used a Dan Electro U52 guitar. Used to be my mom's, and now I've refurbished it to some extent, and it sounds pretty good. So I'll show you what that sounds like just by itself, so you can hear it in the mix. Okay, that's what it sounds like in the mix. And now here's the acoustic guitar part that I also added. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, so yeah, those things were added to the tracks. Now, if you note, here this little button is a panned left or panned right button. The Dan Electro U2 guitar is panned all the way to my left-hand speaker over here. Okay, the acoustic guitar is panned all the way to the right speaker over here. Hold on a second. I have a visitor. It's my cat Sparkle. All right, Sparkle is my studio cat. I'm gonna say hello. There she is, right? So, all right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I do this. What I do is I take one guitar and I pan it left this way, and I take another guitar and I pan it right, hard right that way. And so I've done that. If you can see, I've done the hard pans left and right, but I also take these lead guitars, that's these two tracks here and here, and I pan them kind of against each other as well, okay? And then I add this extra one down here, okay? And so they complement each other in the stereoscopic world. They all complement each other and all play off of each other. So it's one of the key things you need to do when you're mixing your music is not have everything dead center. You need to move it to the left or to the right. And the same thing with vocals as you add those. So let me go ahead and play this for you. So now you understand, all the little subtleties that you'll hear when I actually do the recording. That's the intro, right? All right. So that's the verse. And then we're coming to this new section called a climb. And you notice the chord change. Okay. All right. So now you have an idea of how the song goes. So what I wanted to do is kind of fast forward this thing all the way to this part over here. Now, in this section, remember I called it a bridge. Okay. That's yet another musical thing. So you've heard an intro, a verse, a climb, and a chorus. So here's the bridge that I threw way at the end of the song. Okay, now what I decided to do with this particular song, and it's not finished yet, but what I decided to do is to kind of bring everything back down to the intimate introduction of the song and give the audience something to do. So here I have a hand clap and a couple just basic guitars going on, so it kind of brings you back to the intro a little bit. Let me go ahead and forward it from the last measure here, okay? And then I come back to the chorus, make it strong, let that play through. Here's the chorus. All right. So the reason I do that is to kind of set you up so that you can have a great deal more interest in the song. It's not constantly the same beat, it kind of changes. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and back up a little bit here. I'm gonna put my Studio Cat up, and I really mean this. I'm gonna put my Studio Cat back up here, up on my console. Here she comes. All right, here you go. All right. So that's Sparkle. All right, so what I've done is I've walked you through the entire process of how I kind of build a song. Now, I didn't put any of the vocals in there. Now will be the last part. And so this is probably going to be a new single on my album called Bait and Switch. And so I'm looking forward to finishing all this up. Today is going to be one of those days where after I finish this, it's going to be all vocals. I'm going to go back and do all the singing. There'll probably be 6 different layers of vocals on there. And so what I want to do is encourage you, if you're an amateur like me, or semi-pro, approaching semi-pro, and you want to do your own music production, this is where all your money goes. It will cost a professional production guy probably take about $1,000 to pay somebody to go through this, because it's just labor intensive. It will take a whole day, and so you look at it as kind of like $100 an hour, right, to do this. And so a production guy will figure out the balance, figure out more instruments that are missing, put everything together, and then send you a WAV file. The reason why I encourage you not to work with a professional person after you've gone through this process is because you lose control of everything. You can no longer, after they send you the song, you can't change it. So you're stuck. So I prefer to do my own mixing as best as I can, so that way I have control of the flow of the song and stuff like that. I don't have to pay somebody who's going to do it for me. So in this business, it's not so much about what you own, it's what you control. And so in this particular case, if I wanted to come back and do a version that didn't have any vocals, I could just take them right out of my own mix. So anyway, I hope that has helped you all, and Sparkle over here, I'm sure, will thank you for hanging out with us. All right. So Russ Mains at russmainsmusic.com. And I'll see you next time. Sparkle will too.